Hey, future applauders. Do you like talking about movies? Like smart movies? Dumb movies? Science fiction movies? Horror movies? Fantasy movies?
Do you like listening to people talk about a movie longer than it would take you to actually watch the movie?
Do you sit with your friends and rant at great length about things you're passionate about?
You may be interested in Shocked and Applaud.
Join us while we go through peculiar movies, traditional movies, movies that we just like, movies that we find are sort of like, huh?
Do we follow somebody on social media and then they posted about a movie and we're just going to watch it now?
Sure, why not? Our podcast is completely unscripted, so you're going to stumble through things with us because we stumble a lot.
We're going to laugh, we're going to talk about what's problematic, but really it comes down to talking about movies.
You can visit us at shockedandapplaud.com, on Twitter at shockedapplaud, and Facebook at Shocked and Applaud.
We hope to see you there.
I'm Bo Gacy.
I'm Robert DeSalvo.
I'm Ashley Dahmer.
And I am Jim Myers from Film Rage.
And this is Collateral Cinema Halloween Edition. Welcome to Collateral Cinema Halloween Edition, where we focus on good movies, bad movies, and everything else in between in the world of cinema. We're podcasting straight from somewhere in South Texas, and yes, my friends, it is the spooky season as well as the smoking season. So smoke all your spooky buds and get extra high, children.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. It's like, happy Halloween, everybody. It is the spooky season. It's our favorite time of the year. Like, this is when we usually start our season, usually. But we always try to do a special dedicated Halloween episode every year. And this is quite an auspicious occasion. We have our first ever guest host on a Halloween episode, and that'd be Jim from Film Rage. How you doing, Jim?
Yo, I am doing motherfucking awesome.
Woo!
Could not be happier.
All right. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man. I love your energy.
Exactly. Yeah, we love that. Whoa! Yeah, there we go. Well, right on, Jim. Tell us about Film Rage, about what you're all about, and just tell us what's up with you.
Yeah, so Film Rage, we are a podcast that focuses on new release films, and we have 3 of us that do stuff in it, but it's mostly me and Bryce are the, I don't know, people like to call us douchebag film snobs because, you know, our favorite genres are, not necessarily in this order, horror, international dramas, and Korean cinema. So,
Nice.
Nice.
There's plenty of interlap between those 3, honestly.
yeah, I mean, most movies from Korea are fantastic anyway, but they certainly make a lot of really good horror. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I Saw the Devil, like Be Devil. That's another good one. You know, I think The Wailing is Korean, right?
I think so. Yeah. And of course, Train to Busan and
Tale of Two Sisters.
Yeah, there's so much good horror that comes out of Korea these days, and same with Japan. Actually, Japan and I just find it so much more original than what we get traditionally with American cinema.
Oh, definitely.
So it's just, we seem to just love to rehash stuff, which conveniently we're talking about tonight.
Oh, yes. The ultimate of rehashes. Yes. We are talking about David Gordon Green's and Danny McBride's Halloween Ends. Now, we have talked about the first 2 movies on this podcast. It's something that we've been trying to do. Like, COVID kind of fucked that up for a little bit. You know, like it did everything.
Yeah, we've done every one of the David Gordon Green films. In fact, we did the original 1978 film as well early on before I was on.
Yeah, that was...
that was you and I, right?
Yeah, that was us. And, you were... that was your choice, I believe.
Yeah, I thought it'd be right. I think we went into season 1 doing that, right?
Yeah, that was season 1. So it's only fitting that we would be doing these movies.
Right, right. So yeah, and I've listened to that episode. It's a good episode, I could say, from an outside perspective. No bias there.
Right on.
And then we did 2018 together. We did Halloween Kills a couple years later, or I guess last year, right?
Last year around this time.
And then this year we're doing Halloween Ends, and it's just kind of. I think at this point it was natural for us to do it. I mean, I think we'd kind of committed to following this trilogy through.
Yeah, it was, we committed to it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm necessarily happy with what I invested into because I had a lot of optimism. I defended Kills quite a bit. I actually kind of like it. There are things I like about this one, but ultimately it just
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Well,
guess
let's get into initial thoughts. Jim, we'll go ahead and start with you there. Like, what did you really think when you first saw this movie?
Well, since I saw it last night, it's still a little fresh in my mind. I would say, it was unexpected what I got.
Yeah.
So that would be the sort of the first thing. That right from like the first 10 minutes, you're kind of like it opens up and you're like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Yeah.
what happened
exactly.
to like the John Wick, 3, where it's just like 5 minutes later when Laurie's still in the hospital and you're just kind of like, what? Like,
Yeah.
what is happening here?
Yeah, exactly.
But then it kind of delivered so well that it was kind of like, okay, so I'm dialed in. You're gonna start tossing kids over balconies. I'm like dialed in.
Yeah, dude.
Man, honestly, I'm gonna say fuck that kid.
Oh,
fuck that kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, totally.
Screw that
Yeah.
kid. He's a
He
little
deserved-
shit.
little shit.
Yeah, he absolutely
Who
deserves that.
stands behind the fucking door when the guy's kicking it? Like, I mean, he's
Yeah.
obviously mentally challenged, and maybe he didn't deserve it, but he was annoying enough that of course it's
Well,
kind of a given.
he put up that cutesy front when his parents were around, but as soon as they left,
Yeah.
It was a little shit.
True evil.
true little evil shit. I think that he was the one who was going to inherit the Michael Myers powers. That's who it really was. I think the timeline was altered there by Corey.
I would tend to agree. I think it was the original lineage of it, and if you think hard, like there was a perfect opportunity for a montage and the Rocky theme to come up as he was training.
That's funny.
Exactly.
It would have been like, oh yeah, Jeremy goes all the way,
God damn it.
and that's also the name of the porn version of it. So it's like,
Oh no. Well, Robert, you initially picked the original 2018 movie and everything, so that's what committed us to this.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on this movie initially, like when you first saw it?
Like you said, it's like the first time you watch it, it's like what are you watching,
I know.
And the opening, it felt to me like Scream 4 or Scream the fifth one, right?
Yeah, it had kind of that feel to
Trying
it.
to
a little
build that old suspense, you know what I mean? Trying to bring it back.
bit. Yeah.
And then I don't know, this movie's not too bad. It reminded me of Halloween 4 and 5 a little bit.
Yeah, I remember that you said something about, there being a little reference to the Cult of the Thorn in this. I mean, we'll get into
Yeah.
that here in a little bit.
We'll talk
but
about that.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was quite interesting.
I mean, we're not going to go into full spoiler territory because this isn't at the movies episode technically, but there's still a lot to unpack.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, my thoughts is like, I liked Halloween 2018. Halloween Kills just dropped the ball in so many ways for me. I mean,
Totally.
it just wasn't what I expected. And this was, honestly, you said this wasn't what you expected. This was almost exactly what I expected. I had a feeling that they were going to go this route, like with another, protege type, I guess.
I was optimistic, okay? Because for me, Halloween Kills was made or break, I think.
Made or broken.
Made or broken.
Yeah.
Make or break, right?
Yeah. Halloween Kills was either made or broken by Halloween Ends. Like, however they were going to go with this final movie would sort of define whether, Halloween Kills justified itself or not. And yeah, I am unsatisfied because I was optimistic that maybe it would. More cautiously optimistic as we approach the movie's release. And
Yeah.
then, I'm watching it. There are some things that kind of click for me, some things that are nice. but I think that we just spent way too much time on the Corey plot and not enough time on Michael.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. It's the whole Corey versus Michael thing, I mean, what did y'all think about that? I mean, I kind of, like I said, I felt that they were going to go that route here.
Remember when he fell off the bridge?
Yeah.
And then he pulls him into the tunnel, right? And then he grabs him, and like you see all the flashback of like all his pain, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that reminded me of The Crow a little bit.
The Crow?
Remember when The Crow grabbed him and he like felt all the dude's pain, or he put all the pain inside of him, dude?
Yeah.
That was a little weird.
That was very weird. I mean, Jesus Christ.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. Jim, what did you think?
I was fully enjoying that whole part of it. See, I tried to take it as it was in 3 books, right? It's like, first off, I'm not a big fan of sequels for the most part. I like original horror every time. So when you have a sequel, it's kind of like you're going to get what you're going to get. I found that Halloween Kills, I thought it was the funniest movie I'd ever seen for that year.
It is hilarious.
It is absolutely hilarious. Like, if you're going to that movie and not laughing your ass off, like the entire scene in the hospital is just ludicrously hilarious. The chanting, "Evil dies tonight." Like, it was like I left the cinemas with my hands in the air, just like at the end of the Breakfast Club going, yeah, this is like,
it was like a parody.
this is like, and it was so ultra violent. Like, he like Michael was just in his element, like stabbing up a storm. It was so good. The kills were so fresh and tasty. It was just like, I want to eat that all up. Like, I can't believe, if you like the genre specifically of slasher, I thought Halloween Kills was pretty solid. And so when you start to see, okay, well, first off, there's 5 years later, or 4 years, I think it was 5 years later, right?
I think it's 4 years later because it's in time, in real time now. They're catching up to now.
Yeah, so it's been a passage of time. So first off, where has Michael been hiding? Obviously, maybe he's been healing. I don't know. He got a lot of damage. So it's kind of like, if you're going to pass the baton, I mean, there's a ton of gaps in this film, absolutely. But if you just get into this headspace of, okay, this is going to be completely ludicrous, and I just want to go along for the ride. It's like an action film. If you're going to like Fast and the Furious, which I happen to not, that because if I want things to be unrealistic, I want murder happening. I don't want to see car chases that are unrealistic.
Right.
So if you're going to check your head, you're going to check your brain at the door. It's just like, yeah, this is the kind of movie. I personally think that Halloween Kills was better because it was so ridiculously over the top and funny. This one,
I wouldn't say that this one is funny at all, really. It's
there's
kind
not
of
enough.
dour.
There's not enough Michael. There's not enough of those just scenes of just Michael just fucking being fucking the Shape.
And even, but also there's no Anthony Michael Hall to ham things up left and right and choose scenery,
And there's no Loomis presence either.
No. Well, there wasn't a Loomis presence in Kills.
There were those flashback scenes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The flashbacks with the Donald Pleasance look-alike.
Oh, yeah, that was a good.
Yeah.
That was good. They spent money on that, right?
They definitely did.
yeah, it was a good kill.
It was.
I mean, there's so many great kills in Kills. Maybe that's why it's called Kills. And in this one, it's like there's not as many awesome kills. I mean, there is still a few kills, but I mean, he went through the whole town in Kills. Like, it was just like, if you were in his way, you were meat, right? It was
pretty much. But that's something that I kind of noticed about this movie, that at least compared to the other two, I didn't feel like this was nearly as bloody of a movie as the other two. Not even nearly as much.
No.
There's only one amazing kill, and that's in the DJ booth, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's just...
Yeah.
And that one, it's funny, when we went to see this, we were the only 3 people in the cinema.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was like, you were chatting up a storm and just having a good time with it, like you should when you see this type of movie. And it was like, when that happened, I just got up on my seat and I went, yes! Finally the kill we've been waiting for!
Yes.
Fucking A, man.
I mean, yeah. I don't think anybody came into this movie thinking Michael Myers is going to live at the end of this. We all know that's not even a spoiler. Michael Myers dies, okay?
Yeah, evil does die this time.
Right? Nobody expected any different. We can acknowledge that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that kill in particular, I think, is just super satisfying, and that's all I'm gonna say about it.
But I mean, something that's worthy of note here is that we don't really get our first actual kill by Michael Myers until almost halfway through the movie. So I mean, and therein lies the moment. We don't get enough Michael here. Not even nearly enough Michael.
Not nearly enough Michael, because they decided to focus on the other aspect of this movie, and I don't know. I don't think I was waiting for it to pay off. The Corey plot, and it didn't. It was really just an impetus to get Michael to Laurie. That's all it was.
Yeah. I mean, I found Corey to be very underwhelming as a character and underwhelming as a potential replacement for Michael, really.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say his character arc wasn't very strong, and it was like they were trying to fit a round peg in a square hole, or a square peg in a round hole. Someone's hole inside of another hole. It wasn't that whole arc. It wasn't, but I kind of did like the whole. I mean, if you're keeping it as the three films building to the end of this saga, it's kind of like almost each one had a bit of its homage to different parts of Halloween.
Yes.
Where, the second one was like almost an homage to Rob Zombie's Halloweens with the level of violence in it. And then the last one is kind of like almost an homage to the original one, because it was like that. It was kind of like a similar thing where you have the kill at the beginning of the original, right? And then not a lot happens really until you get to the end, where there's the big battle between him and Laurie. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Well, I kind of saw Halloween 2018 itself as its own homage to the original 1978 film, and then Halloween Kills I kind of actually saw as part 2, because they it takes place on the same night. And they even kind of include their version of part 2 through flashbacks.
There you go.
Yeah. Plus, not to mention that it's staged at the hospital for a good part of the movie.
Yeah, but with Halloween Ends, I mean, obviously there are homages in terms of style and tone, but in terms of like what part of the story they're paralleling, there's not really. And I think that's kind of where it's weak for me, I guess, is there's not something really to kind of compare it with.
Yeah. I mean,
as weird as that sounds.
I will say this. I mean, this movie doesn't necessarily, like, what's the word? Jack off the old movie as much, you know what I mean? Like that's what I really had to take away with Halloween Kills, is that it was just so insistent on bringing up the original movie, like in so many ways, even recreating parts of it that, I mean, I think that it failed to really take into account the rest of the story. It was all kind of centering around those flashbacks and everything. Here, not so much. Like some of the flashbacks, they just come very quickly and only in short bursts, and there's like a lot of them in a short burst. So
yeah.
Yeah.
It could be that if you're as it's starting to unfold, you're kind of thinking to yourself, okay, are they really going to end this? Like that was part of my question through it. Is like, oh, okay, there's this whole training session where he's training this dude to be a killer, right? And then it was predictable, but at the same time there was left turns that were happening that kind of went, oh, okay, wait a minute, maybe this is not as predictable as I was thinking it was going to be, because as you're watching it, you're going like, well, wait a minute, okay, we all think Michael's going to die, and what's going to happen to Laurie and all these different things, and Laurie's character is like way off in left field compared to what we're used to seeing Laurie from the previous film. So that's like all these little, I call them M. Night Shyamalan ding-dongs that they threw in the movie that they're trying to, have this thing where you're not really sure is going to happen. And so, and yet they're still giving you a laundry list of all the people you want to see murdered. And it kind of gives you that satisfying, it's like, oh yeah, that guy's got to die. And oh, for sure, this this dude's dying, and then oh yeah, she's gonna die, and you know what I mean? Like you're just making your list, and you're just like, and then when it happens, you're like, oh yeah, I knew that was gonna happen, but yeah, it was pretty satisfying. I'm kind of happy how how they died, right? It's like, and then everybody died that I wanted to die, so it was like they're just trying to, maybe please us a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, first example of that, of course, is Jeremy, the kid at the beginning of the film. First one, I was just like, "Oh, fuck this kid." First
Yeah.
one, and then the group of teenagers. I mean, they kind of come back like in and out of the movie, more or less.
The
Okay,
band kids.
The band
Yeah,
kids.
dude.
How the hell did they make band kids like jocks? When did this happen?
No, dude.
What the fuck
they were
is
just
that?
they were just dicks that are band kids. I mean,
I guess
we
it
didn't
happens.
go to that school. They maybe didn't even have a football team. They just had the band.
No, you're right.
Well,
Maybe.
And I'm like, you're bullying the kid that you perceive as a psycho. What do you think is going to happen?
That's something that I was saying the entire time that I saw them ganging up on him and shit. It's like, oh yeah, let's gang up on the guy that potentially killed a kid, just yeeted him over a balcony. Let's poke him with a stick. Why not?
Right. Like,
Or a flute.
poke the bear, so to
flute.
speak.
Or a flute, exactly, as it were. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's not the best thing to do. Like if someone you're supposedly thinking they're a murderer, it's like, really? Band kids? Like,
Yeah.
don't you have, I don't know what's below band kids though? Like it's kind of like
I mean,
in the school's hierarchy, it's like it usually is the jocks that bully, the goth kids who bully the, and then like I think that was what was also made. It was a little bit of the funny in it because it's like they made the evil people the band kids, which are usually the ones that are getting bullied, right? Like it's
usually that's what you see. I mean, especially in a lot of coming of age films.
I don't know. Maybe in 2022 it's different. It's been a while since I've been in high school, so
That is true.
Me
I mean,
too.
yeah.
who knows? I mean, I do know that band can be pretty cutthroat nowadays.
Yeah, what is that? First chair and violin is. I mean, we've seen what's that? Black
Black
Swan.
Swan. Black
Yeah.
Swan. Yeah, that was
Yeah, there
more.
you go.
Yeah, that was more ballet. But yeah, that's very much the same type of cutthroat competitiveness that I guess is now prevalent in band. It's
That's
like,
right. It's a new thing now.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Get ready. I don't know. Maybe we need more horror movies with band kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And
totally.
usually they're the ones that are being killed. So this is awesome. I like
the band
switch.
kid is the murderer.
Like American Pie band camps. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we need a horror movie with band kids, 100%. I mean, could you think of the possibilities, just with the instruments, like, could you
Oh.
imagine like a sousaphone or something like that?
Trombone through the head, like
Mhm.
tuba, like you're stuffed inside a tuba that also has like a mouth that actually eats people as it goes in the tuba.
Fuck
There's
yeah.
Death by flute through your penis hole,
Oh,
out your
damn.
asshole. Like there's just so many ideas.
Damn, you're going
that you
full
can
on. You're going full on like Terrifier with this shit, man. God damn.
Oh, yeah. I mean, maybe there will be band kids in Terrifier too. I'm still waiting.
Oh yeah. By the way, that is totally a movie we need to check out. We need to check out the first one as well. Haven't seen it yet.
Have you not seen the first one?
No, we haven't seen the first
No.
Terrifier.
So good.
I'm
So good.
I'm aware of what happens in it and everything. I know what happens, but we just haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
You know-
evil clowns. They're so good.
It's funny because between that, which has been, widely acclaimed so far, and there's a new Hellraiser coming out. Part of me was like, man, and we're doing Halloween Ends, and I don't even know if this is going to be good. But I'm like, we kind of have to do it. And I think because of the tradition, and because, I kind of want to see how this plays out.
Yeah, and that is what was nice about this movie is, this did have some finality to it, needless to say.
Yeah.
And also some callbacks to, the previous characters in the in this particular trilogy. Like who comes back? That one kid whose babysitter that was killed in the first movie? The little kid who was just like, nah, fuck this shit, I'm out of here. And he ran out of there.
Oh, yeah, the bass kid, the Chad.
The based kid, yeah.
The Chad.
The Chad kid. Oh man, like he comes back briefly here. We won't say where, but it's unfortunately not in a speaking role, which I
Yeah.
think is a huge, huge mistake. Because as far as I'm concerned, that kid stole the first movie.
Yeah.
That made that entire sequence with him and his babysitter and the babysitter's boyfriend, that was very entertaining.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't just do a little sprinkle in there. Like, give him his due.
I think that they should have actually written him into the story somehow, like maybe being like neighbors with Laurie Strode or something like that somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that would have been great. Like have him kind of help out with the with Michael Myers and shit, man. It's like I think that would have been really fucking cool.
I think this movie needed Ben Tramer.
This movie really needed Ben Tramer. That's the next big ball that was dropped here. No Ben Tramer.
No Ben Tramer.
Oh, Ben Tramer.
No, Ben.
So Ben
No.
Tramer was never killed then.
Ben Tramer exists. This is that timeline, right?
Yeah.
They left him open in this timeline, and they did
Yeah.
nothing with that. They didn't pay off. You needed Ben Tramer to come back.
That could have been another part of the script that could have made this better.
God damn it,
honestly.
he should have been played by Paul Rudd just because he was in Curse of Michael Myers.
But come back as Ant-Man, so that just even makes it better.
Yeah, right. So does that mean that he can shrink down and then go up Michael Myers' butthole and then expand and then
Oh my
Yes,
god.
and do popping like it's hot. It'd be
exactly,
nice and fresh for that.
exactly.
But I thought it was also cool that, like, the predictability part of it that I was talking about earlier, that you kind of go, okay, when the metal chipper comes up early in the movie, you're like, and then as soon as you see the band kids actually at the wrecking yard, you're like, oh, one of those kids is totally going in the chipper.
Yeah.
Right? And
Right,
so it was
right.
just another one of those ones. It was like, oh, wait a minute, I want the chipper. And then, it's like they bait and switch it through the whole movie.
Yeah.
And, for some people, it's annoying because you have this expectation. And when you put films like this on a pedestal, right, it's hard to, everybody's got a different way they could rewrite it. But it's like, I kind of like the idea that I didn't know what to expect as we went through it. And they had things like that. It was like they were rooting for us the same way we were rooting for them.
More
Yeah.
or less. More or less. I would say this is probably a pretty audience-centric movie.
I mean, I like what you said earlier. Where it's like if you turn your brain off, it's fun. It's just Halloween Kills at least was more fun. You had all
Yes.
the kills and shit. So but it's like I'd kind of approach it like you said, like a Fast and Furious or like a Transformers movie. Just this isn't one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like,
Certainly.
but it's over now, so we don't have to worry about it. We can now watch Terrifier 2 and that series hopefully take off.
Yeah, see, I mean, that's what's fascinating there is that we are seeing the rise of a new horror icon with Art the Clown, who, by the way, I maintain is a fucking mime. He's a mime, not
Yeah,
a clown.
ish,
He's a
yes.
goddamn mime.
Okay.
Which is incidentally the actual actor that plays him had mime experience. So
Experience?
yeah,
Nice.
Oh shit.
so
okay.
that's why I maintain Art the Clown is a mime, 100%.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
I'm interested to see, that story. I think the story of Michael Myers in particular is over. I think that should just not be touched anymore. If they want to do more Halloween, maybe do something more like Season of the Witch, like anthology
Yes.
style.
Exactly. Do what they were going to do with the Halloween franchise, but people were just too stupid to go along with it.
No, like we were talking about this earlier, like legitimately, like what I would do is I would do a series called Halloween Season of the Witch that's just an anthology TV series,
Hmm.
and each
Yeah.
episode is something different.
There you go.
Ah, there we go. Kind of a creep show.
And the first episode, naturally, the pilot would be an actual remake of Season of the Witch. And then each episode would just do something different, just not focusing on Michael Myers.
Absolutely not at
Yeah.
all. Maybe
That
have
would
him
be super.
maybe have him on the TV screen or something,
Yeah.
just like in the original season of
Oh,
the Witch.
Yeah. We still gotta watch
Or
that.
they could just cross, like they could cross the timelines in somehow, right? Like this episode was made in 1979 or whatever it was when it came out.
Yeah.
So that you know it's there, and maybe it's even in the same town. It's like every year, it's almost like Cabin in the Woods type thing, where
Yes.
every year they have it. But because I kind of wish Cabin in the Woods would come back every year too. But
Mm.
Right?
Yeah, that would have been a great yearly franchise, honestly.
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh,
Pretty
man.
much closest we're gonna get to a full-fledged SCP movie. Like,
Exactly.
straight up.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Cabin in the Woods is so good. Yeah, I hope that, you know, if they're going to continue to use the Halloween name, just do something different, you know, and you know, even with the TV series, you could have some episodes set within the universe of a particular timeline. Like you'd have a Cult of the Thorn episode, or you know, a Ben Tramer episode.
A Ben Tramer
Oh.
episode. God damn it.
That's basically like Halloween Ends, but if Ben Tramer was the protagonist.
It's been 4 years since Michael Myers vanished without a trace.
Hello?
I was certain that I saw him watching me.
You pretend like you moved on, but you're actually just obsessed with death.
What are you gonna do when Michael comes back for you? Because he is coming.
But this time, something feels different. He's more dangerous. He killed my daughter. But tonight, I will kill him. Come and get me. Maybe the only way he can die is if I die too. It all ends now. You came here to kill me, so do it.
That would have been amazing. God damn it. The things that we lost in this translation. God damn it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of wonky elements to this script. Like, I'm looking at one example, and that's when you have a callback to that one lady that got the fluorescent bulb shoved in her neck. You know? It's like, that kind of brings this element of guilt that, I don't know, seems a little ham-fisted, more or less, you know? Because it's just kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so she lived. I thought that was crazy.
I thought she bled out.
Yeah, same here. I thought that she was bleeding out and that she
Well,
wasn't going to make it.
She watched her husband get carved like a jack-o'-lantern.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, definitely. But, I mean, there's elements of that, you know, can be a little off like that. And I've noticed that a lot with David Gordon Green and Danny McBride's movies.
Yeah.
You know, there's some elements where the script can get a little off the charts, you know.
Well, I actually agree with you, Bo. I think the franchise could have ended at Halloween 2018. That was honestly a perfect
should
way to
have.
end it.
It should have. And I'll wait to my final thoughts to say why I feel that it should have been. But,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and we already had another good canonical ending to the franchise with H2O, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a total ass pull when they brought Michael back the way that they did in that movie.
It seems to be an
And then
ongoing
Resurrection.
pattern here. It's like every time they try to like bring it back, but finish it, you know, they do a pretty okay, decent job. But then, you know, when they try to follow that up again, they fuck it up.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we saw that with H2O. You saw that with you know, Halloween 2018. I'd even argue the Rob Zombie films to an extent. Like the first movie is okay. Like I kind of like it for what it is. It's something different. But
I was totally going to say that, honestly. Like, I mean, even Rob Zombie's Halloween, like, he didn't want to make a sequel to that. He didn't want to. He was like, no, the movie's fine where it's at. But, you know, they wanted that money. So, And in the end, I know that for a fact that John Carpenter has straight up come out and said, it's like, hey, they want to throw me money, make as many Halloween movies as you want. So who knows? I mean,
Yeah, he's stepped off doing the music now. Like, he's not involved. We want Carpenter to come back and direct movies, not.
that's
But he
going into
didn't
what?
want to come.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was just gonna say he didn't want to he didn't want a second one of this to come out, right? Like he was just like, yeah, it's bookended, it's done.
Yeah, exactly. And what Ash was about to say, like about what John Carpenter wanted to direct, because he wants to direct again, but what was he gonna? What movie did he bring up?
a Dead Space movie. He mentioned that he would be interested in doing that.
Ooh.
And I've seen that kind of pop up all over the net, and I'm like, a John Carpenter Dead Space movie? Fuck yeah.
That would be amazing.
Oh yeah.
But then again, he made Ghost of Mars, so make of that what you will.
That's true enough. He's gotten old. Maybe he should just stick to music.
Yeah, maybe he should. I mean, that has always been his best bailiwick, like especially with all of his movies.
He's remained consistent throughout, this trilogy of films, composing the music, I believe. And that's all he contributed to Halloween 2018, which, I think is just a fine movie. It's a good movie.
It really is. I mean, it's my favorite of the trilogy, and it's a fitting end, like we said earlier.
So it's possible without him, but it's also possible without him to just go so far away from the vision. And I don't know necessarily that these movies do that, but they just don't pay off. Like I said, with Halloween 2018 being a fitting ending for the franchise, with Halloween Kills and the subsequent Halloween Ends, I was expecting, if that was such a good end, you got to top it off if you're going to continue to justify doing more movies, right? If that's not the end, justify that and do something. And do I feel that they did that? I mean, the last 15 minutes of this movie, I think, are very satisfying.
Yeah, that's really my favorite part of the movie is when we finally get to Laurie versus Michael.
Yeah.
Properly,
And that's where, kind of that other subplot even almost sort of pays off a little bit, but not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like, it's like this very slow, I was calling it blood orgy foreplay as you're watching it, right? It's kind of like, it's like slowly just giving you just a little bit. There's just like pre-jizz coming, and then it was like by the time you got to the end, you're on full-on bloodgasm, which is what we've been waiting for.
Exactly.
It's like that slow burn that happens, or they would put little, M. Night Shyamalan's in there to keep you along for the ride. To go, wait a minute, they didn't eat. And then the last 15 minutes was just like, here, we'll just put a nice cap on that, and away we go.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, okay, yeah, I busted a nut, but at what cost?
Yeah, you get that post-nut clarity. Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, another example of the script wonkiness, I will say, is the whole relationship with Corey and Allison. Like, I don't know. That really just took me out of the movie more than anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I was not sure what to feel about it.
Yeah. What do you think, Jim?
Well, it's funny, as we were watching it in the movie, we started talking a little bit about that. And my partner Bryce turned to me and said, what the hell? Like, why is she finding him attractive? But then it was literally about 5 minutes later in the movie, she explained why. Because she's like, I felt the same way. So I think they tied that in nicely enough that she felt alone in that small town as well. Just like he was alone, but for different reasons, right? It's like she's this star and he's the opposite. So it was like the yin and yang for each other that had it. I mean, it's true. If I didn't check my brain at the door, I could have found all kinds of problems with this movie.
See, maybe
right?
maybe that's my problem, is that I tend not to do that unless a movie absolutely has the reputation of being so bad it's good, then I can maybe do that. But
the way that you described it, Jim, I think is actually perfectly what our reactions were. Is we're kind of like, why is she so into him? And then we're like, oh, okay, it's like a shared trauma thing, and they kind of do explain it. And at that point, I sort of invested myself into it, and then I was like, well, I guess I shouldn't, because he's obviously going down this path. So.
Robert, what did you think about Allison and Corey? I mean, did this relationship justify itself well enough here?
Sort of. I mean, because they were both fucked up in many ways, you know.
Yeah, I
And
get that.
Mostly the same ways, right? Well,
I just kind of feel like that's been done before,
Yeah.
like better in certain other movies, maybe.
Yeah.
You know,
But there was sprinklings, like if you remember where she worked, right? It was like she got fucked over because she didn't fuck the doctor, and it's kind of like you can see, okay, this is a reason. Like I thought they were gonna do a whole natural born killers sort of
Ooh,
scenario where
yeah.
they, get on his motorcycle and
they almost
Yeah.
did. In
I
this
know.
movie. Almost.
Yeah.
They kind of intimated that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, they do actually.
Mickey and Mallory. Oh, crap.
Oh yeah, Mickey Mouse. We got to do that movie sometime. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's my aceness that kind of took me out of that. But I mean, the romantic thing just didn't work for me there. It didn't add anything to the movie for me. I mean, personally.
yeah, I would
You know?
agree. I think you're right. It didn't need to happen, I guess, really. But then you start, if you peel that onion away, then there's just so many onions that fall behind it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's just like, and I think, especially how they ended Halloween Kills, it's kind of like you were on this blood high that when they open with this and you're kind of like, whoa, I'm let down. I think everybody in their mind was just wanting it to maybe be a short and us watch the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just get to what we came for. I mean, it's like, and I mean, Laurie herself in this movie, like she's a different kind of a different character. Like at first, she seems to have kind of moved on a little bit,
Yeah.
you know. But
That's what they're framing it as, is like she's moved on from the trauma, she's trying to forget it, but like she's still prepared.
yeah, but also it just kind of shows that some cycles just repeat themselves. You know, like with the whole relationship with Corey and Allison.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that romance subplot, like a lot of the plots of this movie, just don't. They start out like kind of hopeful, even a little bit, but they don't pay off in any meaningful way. And they don't really do a lot with the relationship between Laurie Strode and Allison, and I think that was a really missed opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of show them just in just a basic domestic, you know, partnership or whatever, like just living with each other. You know, like Allison's going to work now, like she's a nurse or whatever. And I don't know. It's kind of weird to me that Laurie is the one that brings Carrie into the her household and everything. That seems so out of character. So for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, I think she saw in him, like it was like that light switch went on, that he did have he was still okay when she did bring him in, and then it was like the light switch happened after when he got Michaelized, that now she saw he was dead inside. You know what I mean? Like I think there was still hope, and that's that kind of this movie is kind of like that a little bit. There's hope to you can move past these things, and so those subtleties, which again I think is maybe the reason we're let down. Like think about this movie if they would have done this instead. Imagine it opens and it is like a hybrid between John Wick and the chicken fight on Family Guy, where it's Laurie and Michael like duking it out for 2 hours straight. Wouldn't that have been? I think that's what everybody wanted to see.
That would have been amazing.
That's what we wanted to see. That's what we paid
That's
for.
what I wanted, but instead we got Love Actually or some bullshit. I don't fucking know.
That's right. We got love. Actually, we got love.
Yeah,
actually.
definitely.
Yeah, we got love. Definitely. Yeah.
No, definitely. But
I think that's that's maybe the twist part that they were looking for, because if they went into that, of course we'd all be completely satisfied, and this would have got 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100 on every rating. But I think they were hoping they would have that precedence to people to think they're telling us it's going to end, but it's not going to end. So they kept putting those side turns in for us to have to question what we're thinking through it, when ultimately everybody was invested after Halloween Kills and just like, we just want to see mayhem. And that's, I think, ultimately our hearts are broken more than anything else.
Especially when that mayhem doesn't come in till halfway through the damn movie. You know?
Mm.
I mean, that was a questionable decision for me.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they should have kept Michael in the shadows as long, and I don't think that they should have kept the killings held off like that. You know?
Yeah, this is supposed to be the part that's just like fuck it, and it's just supposed to be nothing but killings. Let's finish off the franchise. Let's kill everything. But they didn't do it. They could have.
They could have.
And everyone. Yeah, could you imagine if the entire town got killed too? That would
Just a massacre of ginormous proportions. Like unprecedented.
Honestly, yeah, actually, that would have been the perfect way to do it.
Then Michael would actually have been the threat to take seriously, like they were taking in Halloween Kills, even though he killed like 3 or 4 people like several years ago.
Evil dies tonight.
Evil dies tonight.
Yes.
and
the rest of the people that were still alive would still keep the chant going.
Exactly. But it's like in that movie, they literally get a group of motherfuckers together to try to just jump him, and that doesn't even work.
Right.
So,
well, see, the problem with Halloween Kills is that during that scene, I just kept noticing how many like missed opportunities. There's like, you have a gun, shoot it at his fucking head. You know, does nobody have a shotgun here? Just
dude, you could have walked
aim
right
it?
up on him and shot him right in his fucking head. Halloween Kills, right?
Oh yeah,
right when he was in the street.
Exactly, yeah.
That didn't happen though.
No.
Maybe they were in a blue state. You know, you can't.
maybe they were. I don't know.
I mean,
a blue state? That's funny.
Hey, we're in a red state and we got our guns, so fuck it.
Exactly. I mean, I don't see the rack there, but I know it's there.
Oh, I mean, I actually have one on my waist right now, so.
There you see. That's what I'm saying. It what didn't take place in Texas. I think.
No,
it was
no.
Illinois, wasn't it? Isn't Illinois a blue state?
That is definitely a blue state. We have a buddy that moved down here specifically for that reason because of
there you go.
our gun laws here.
Yeah. That's if Halloween didn't take place in Texas, it took place in Illinois.
Well, to be fair, Texas Chainsaw Massacre takes place in Texas, and they never stop that family from killing people.
Oh my God! Let's not talk about that last franchise.
Oh God, that's a whole nother can of worms for me.
Oh man, the ending to that on Netflix.
Oh man, yeah. Talk about another series where they can't find a decent canonical ending.
Yeah. Well, and I imagine as Texans, it's offensive because you're kind of like, look, they named a movie after us, and this is how they ended it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I am offended.
Like, God damn it, man! They need to. That's why they just made it Leatherface, right? It was just called Leatherface.
Yeah.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah, that Leatherface is actually the only one I've seen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You've never seen the original?
No.
God damn it.
Yeah.
God damn it, Ash. Just the only thing you need to know is that it's not what you think it is.
I think I watched it with you one time, but that was a long time ago. It was right when you were falling asleep.
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
It's like, how'd you like that movie? I fell asleep.
Fell asleep. Yeah.
3 times. I tried to watch it 3 times.
I think I was trying to show you the first Halloween, right? Yeah.
No, I remember like we stayed up and we watched the first Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we've seen together, I know. We've all watched like the first one, part 2, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, we've watched
Rob
all
Zombie's Halloween, and we did all of this trilogy together. So
and we watched all the Cinema Snob episodes as well, so we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Solid.
Fucking A, man. Fucking A. But yeah, I mean, I guess we could go ahead and talk a little bit about the Laurie versus Michael fight a little more. I mean, I actually think that the way that it ended was satisfying to a degree, you know. But I actually think that the ending to 2018 was more poignant. What do y'all think?
Yeah, they should have just kept it 2018.
Yeah.
Part 1, 2018. Maybe Kills. I don't know, but yeah, you could have ended it at 18. It would have been fine, you know.
Yeah.
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 I would agree they didn't need it, but I did like Kills better than the first one. I was expecting to like this one better than Kills, but it didn't. So
I could
it
see
was,
I could see Kills becoming a straight up bona fide cult classic in another
oh, totally.
maybe in another 3 or 4 years tops,
Yeah.
maybe 5.
I'm thinking like, yeah, Rocky Horror Picture Show. They can have like people acting it out and like throwing props and all kinds of shit.
Or
in
like
there.
The Room,
Yeah, exactly.
Throw some spoons at it.
throw some spoons at the fucking screen.
Yes, exactly.
I'm surprised they don't throw water bottles at the screen whenever the Ohio mark part comes up. You know, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not.
not.
And
Did
that was your Room reference for this episode. It's kind
Can
of our
never
thing.
have enough.
Yeah, it's
Never
kind
enough room.
it's kind of our thing, bro. It's kind of our thing.
Yep, love it.
Yeah.
Love it. You gotta always fit that. People are sitting there waiting at what point? Oh, at 47.5 it shows. And you should spin that to social media to have it be like, okay, in this episode, if you guess the right time code, you win a free T-shirt.
There you go. or we'll send you a copy of The Room or something.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know. Fuck it, right? But yeah, I mean, Laurie and Michael, I think that, the fight itself was pretty brutal. I like how it really did try to parallel the showdown from the original '78 movie. I liked how the angle that they went with that.
Yeah, I liked the crucifixion scene with him at the end too, right? Like it's like there's so much symbolism
There
through
was.
the end.
There was, yeah. And also, how the whole town was involved in that and everything. That was really cool.
Yeah, I was sitting there. I was watching it. I'm going, okay, so what are they gonna do? And then it was just like the light bulb turned on. It goes, you know what? We haven't seen yet. I turned to my two buddies and like, we have not seen the chipper.
No,
And
we haven't seen it
yes.
yet.
Ta-da!
Yeah, well, we all knew that it was going to be used in some capacity when it first came up.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you don't put foreshadowing like that and not deliver. If they would, if that never happened, this movie was a bust.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It had to happen in some capacity. I was expecting Michael to use it at some point.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what they want. They kept wanting us. They
Yeah.
they wanted us to think that
Trying
it was
too
going
hard
to be
to.
a killing implement.
Yeah.
I think it kind of has like the Last Jedi's problem, where it's like it's trying so hard to subvert expectations that it's like, just give us what we want.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no reason to beat around the bush in any way. It's total teasing, Cinematic teasery. God damn it.
They're edging us.
They're edging us. Yeah, exactly, man.
There you
Yeah.
go.
But I mean,
Do you
go ahead.
like the fact that Allison jumped in there and got her digs in though?
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, especially after the events preceding that particular scene, it's like, yeah, she finally got back there and joined the fight, and it was just as brutal. So, but Robert, what did you think?
I think the end felt like Terminator Judgment Day.
A little bit.
Like,
Yeah, I see that.
where you got to throw the Terminator into the liquid, and then, you got to destroy the Terminator somehow, right?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's an interesting parallel, the Terminator and Michael Myers. I mean, everybody says that the first Terminator practically is a slasher movie.
Yeah, because
anyways.
2018, Jamie Lee Curtis spent her whole time like Linda Hamilton, right?
A little bit.
Almost like
Yeah.
Sarah Connor, right? I was like, what is she training
Yeah.
for? She's training for like Judgment Day or something, right?
Yeah, it definitely had that Sarah Connor feel to it.
And
Mhm.
then she was in James Cameron's True Lies, so it was like
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
he said I'd always wanted to cast her as Sarah Connor, but I cast her in True Lies instead.
Oh my God, could you imagine Jamie Lee Curtis as Sarah Connor? Holy
Oh
shit.
yeah.
That's an interesting timeline right there. I would like to go to that timeline. Can we have another Mandela effect event happen where that's a thing?
Yeah,
Nice.
I think so.
Totally. Yeah, True Lies, that's another movie we got to do.
Fuck yeah.
Well, it's kind of that's a good thing to bring up, because it's kind of been the question that's on my mind. Is like, okay, so the last few Halloween episodes, where we could, we've dedicated our podcast to following the Halloween franchise. Where are we going to go, from here on? Should we dig into like another franchise and kind of make that a thing?
Yeah, we'll do
Oh,
it. We'll do
totally.
that.
Terrifier.
You're already behind with Terrifier, so it's
Yeah,
perfect. Next year,
Yeah.
Terrifier 1.
That would be perfect, actually. Yeah. Terrifier 1. And honestly, if you want to join us for that episode next year, you're more than welcome, Jim.
Dudes, I am in.
Fuck
Get me
yeah.
some Terrifier.
Fuck yeah, man. I almost kind of wanted to do Terrifier, but because, we already committed to the Halloween Ends thing,
Yeah, and I'm glad that we did it. I'm glad that I followed it through. It didn't pay off in the ways that I hoped for, but at the end of the day, if you check your brain at the door,
Yeah, and in the end, with this trilogy, I can actually say that I got to actually go watch a first-run Halloween movie in the theaters with 2018,
Nice.
so that was good, especially pre-pandemic.
So here's a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Like when you think of this now, do we actually think it's ends? Like this is almost like one of those like classic franchises when you got Voorhees, Myers, right? It's like they keep bringing back those characters, but do we think this is actually it? Do you think that now that he's in the chipper, we're done?
Like I said, it's pretty much up to John Carpenter. If they keep throwing him money, they will make Michael Myers Halloween movies. So
well, and it's the end of this timeline. They can honestly go wherever they want. I mean, because
what if they went and rebooted the Cult of the Thorn story arc?
yeah, I mean, honestly, that's really the only other place you can go with that.
Yeah, but just make that
point.
an alternate timeline, kind of.
Well, I mean, they've kind of established that because you've got the original Halloween 1 through Halloween 6, and then you've got the H2O timeline, and then you've got
Yeah.
I guess this is what some people call like the H4O timeline, or the
So that tracks with this franchise. It totally
you've got
tracks.
the Rob Zombie, which is its own thing, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's totally doable. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe they could. Kind of like what they did with the recent Texas Chainsaw movie a little bit.
So yeah, maybe just go back to the
Yeah,
original timeline, just Cult of Thorn shit. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go.
No, go ahead, man.
That was all I had.
Oh, I was just gonna say like that was it could have been cool if the movie was good, but with the Texas Chainsaw, having it be like it was number 2,
Yeah.
right? It's like
yeah.
that's what these were. They kind of were where 2 left off, and then it should have just kept going. It's like they went back and reset the dial
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
It's like they keep going back to more prequels,
Like especially with Texas Chainsaw, man. Like I'm sorry that one prequel that they did where he was a younger, like you saw a younger Leatherface and everything. I did not care for that at all.
I didn't either, man.
It was very bland and then kind of predictable and boring. I did
Yeah.
not like that at all. I mean, this movie almost goes there if it wasn't for the last 15 minutes of the movie. That's really the bottom line here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because in Halloween Ends, you're spending like half the movie waiting for Michael to come out, dude. And when he finally does come out, it's like, okay, this is happening.
Yeah.
Also, how did Michael survive for 4 years? What did he eat?
Freaking like rats in the sewer. Like we're watching it right now, right?
Yeah. He's in his little cubby hole or whatever.
He doesn't even have his full power like Freddy, right?
Yeah, in a weird way, it's almost like he just had to really replenish his powers.
Exactly.
He
We're gonna
Yeah.
see that right here.
He expended all of them that Halloween night in 2018, and he's got to kind of go back to sleep for a little while, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
he's-
and the homeless dude that was Corey's first kind of real kill,
Yeah.
it kind of alluded that he was somehow involved with it, like maybe helping Michael a
Yeah.
little bit.
asking him how to do it, right?
Probably.
Well, no, just with the homeless dude, he was kind of going like, "Oh yeah, get back in there and get me that mask."
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It was, and he was kind of like, maybe he had actually, I don't know, pushed like other people down there to help Michael keep his skills up a little bit, throw little kids down there, practice your stabby stab, and
yeah.
maybe he just picked up food
letting
from
him
the
grind.
homeless people.
But that begs the
grab some-
question. That begs the question: what did he want with Michael's mask?
Yeah, I mean,
That-
he's a fucked up homeless dude. He's
Yeah,
probably
what did
wanted
he?
to pick up chicks. I don't know.
I guess you could pick up chicks in a
He wanted
Halloween mask. I mean,
He
in a
wanted
Michael
to-
Myers mask.
He wanted to feel the mask.
He wanted to feel the mask. So I don't know. That thing would be pretty gunky in that mask. Probably the inside of the mask.
Cobweb, sewer. Just,
Probably gunky, blood, mucus,
yeah,
sweat.
smell old.
Oh
like
God! I mean, could you
the-
imagine?
The last 40 years.
Oh, yeah, that smells good.
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, what else can really be said about this movie that wouldn't require intensive spoilers? You know, I mean, maybe we should start getting to our final thoughts here.
Yeah.
Maybe. And usually we like to start off with our guests. Whenever we have a guest, you know, we want them to give their final thoughts on everything that was discussed. So, Jim, go right ahead.
So I think I kind of like the fact that it kind of bookended this trilogy. And if I take it as this is a trilogy, I think it and each one of them was kind of different in this respect. So I liked that because it wasn't like just the regular, you know, and I compare it to Jason Voorhees because it's like Voorhees just this killing machine, you know. To me there's more depth to the Halloween franchise a little bit, and with Laurie's character. So the first one coming out, what could have been satisfying on its own, but if you're gonna make a trilogy, the second one was completely different. It was like slapstick, crazy kills. It was a romp through Murder Town, and it was so much fun. This one, I was also satisfied with it. I mean, I didn't love any one of them. If I loved one more than the others, it would definitely be in Kills. But I think I like the fact that with this one, it did keep having me guess. And I don't like because I would think usually you're going like, oh, I predicted that's going to happen, and you know, oh yeah, this was so predictable, and you know, this wasn't that. It wasn't predictable in any way to me. I mean, the ending was predictable. We all knew that it was going to happen, but the way that we got there was completely different. So it was surprising to me of what they delivered on. So I liked it for that much. Is it the movie I wanted to see? No. Am I glad I saw it? Absolutely. Did I love it? No.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Robert. Give us your final thoughts. This was initially your choice that brought us here, initially in 2018. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. What are your final thoughts on Halloween Ends and this particular trilogy?
You know, I liked how they closed it out at the end, you know, but I think they left sort of the door open, like on a fan film based, you know, really.
Yeah, that's something that we've talked about a lot when it comes to Halloween is the fan
Yeah.
films and everything.
And the fact
Yeah.
that we were talking about, like, you know, how anybody can be the shape now.
Yeah.
And that really left the door open.
Yeah, it did, especially. I mean, and I can see that with the whole thing with Corey and everything.
Yeah, with Corey.
Yeah, it actually leaves, and if you accept the idea of maybe, you know, Michael's powers having some type of transference
There you go.
and everything,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. It's like you can have different iterations of Michael now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
So,
you could argue that we've always had that.
yeah, we were
but-
thinking about that. And
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
like, oh, okay, this movie kind of makes you think, but
Like, we wanted to do a Halloween fan film, and I wanted to kind of take a different approach to, you know, like Michael's actual surroundings a little bit.
yeah, we wanted to do a fan film, and we could still probably do that because we got all the gear now, right?
We do.
Yeah.
But as for the movie itself,
As
like,
for
what do you
Halloween
think?
Ends, I like the way how they closed it out at the ending where they pin him down, crucified him, put the fridge on his leg, and then
Yeah.
but yeah, half the movie you spent like wondering where the hell Michael was, and it was just Corey doing everything, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then
And was Corey that compelling of a character?
no, not really. I mean, we all wanted to see Michael do more of the killings more than anything, right?
Yeah, we did. All we got was like Diet Michael Myers.
Exactly.
less.
Diet.
Michael Myers 0.
Like
Yeah.
wish,
Zero,
wish,
yeah, totally.
Wish Michael.
Well, like wish.com, Michael.
Corey was Wish Michael.
If you ordered Michael from Wish.com.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. It's kind of like you take it or leave it, right?
More or less. More or less as a trilogy and as a ending to the movies and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Ash, your final thoughts.
You know, so a lot was riding on this movie for me. Like I said, I enjoyed Halloween Kills, and I guess up until now I didn't really understand why I enjoyed Halloween Kills, and I think it was just because it was just a lot of fun, and I could appreciate that aspect. But you know, I would still have to say Halloween 2018 was the best film out of this trilogy, and it was the perfect ending. And I was just kind of hoping that Kills was the setup for something that would top that.
A lot bigger, and then
Yeah, bigger and more bombastic.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and it is satisfying, and I guess it does feel just as grounded, but as it could have been. But I don't know, and I liked some of what they were doing throughout the movie, like the whole idea of the transferring, or transfership of it, the mentorship going on. That would have been cool if it paid off, later, and it just it just really acted as an impetus to get Michael to Laurie, and then we get to that point of the movie, and that's probably the best part.
Definitely the best part. Like without
So it's
a
like,
shout.
what did we watch all
Yeah.
of this for? Why was this a feature-length film?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it's just the way the script was,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like how, because this movie is just so predictable, we can kind of get into spoilers without getting into spoilers, because it's like you watch the first 15, 30 minutes of the movie, you know what's going to happen, and you know how it's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Definitely.
And you know who's going to die next, and maybe it was kind of fun in a sense to kind of connect the dots like that, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, more or less.
I mean, I might put on the trilogy at one point as just kind of background noise, but really the only films to write home about, I think, are if you're a fan of, the actual of the first film, and you like the mood of that, then maybe Halloween 2018. But if you're just a fan of, just the fun of it and just the spectacle, then Halloween Kills, But
Yeah.
it's like this film is really not going to satisfy you no matter from which camp you're coming from, I guess.
I feel you there and everything. And as for my final thoughts, Halloween 2018 was a movie that I think really perfectly encapsulated what Halloween 1978 was going for and continued it perfectly. And it established themes of trauma that, were palpable, were believable. I mean, especially the way that they showed how it affected Laurie and her relationship with her family and everything. And I loved in that movie how the trauma was generational enough that all three Strode women came together and in the end fought against Michael, fought against him valiantly, got him cornered and put him in a situation where he was pretty much done for. And even though they technically left it open-ended, I think that it was a perfect ending to that particular timeline. It was perfect. It was three generations of Strodes coming together to take out the boogeyman that caused all this generational trauma, all this heartache, all this, sometimes even somewhat abusive behavior, admittedly, on Laurie's part. But they overcame all of that. And yeah, they were wounded, they were broken, and they were worse for the wear, but it was poignant. It was perfect. It was chef's kiss there.
I gotcha.
There you go.
Then Halloween Kills came and kind of took a shit all over that. But it was a glorious shit.
It was a good shit.
It was a glorious shit that they took over everything. Lots more action, like Jim said, lots more kills and everything. More microphone problems. And ultimately, yeah, I can kind of I didn't particularly like Kills. I don't like it, but it is definitely a very watchable movie. It's very watchable. But this movie I didn't like the tone of it. I didn't like the relationship between Allison and Corey. I didn't like the whole Michael Myers light angle. I think that could have been, if it had a better script, that could have been done well, but it just didn't work for me this time. Like the actual action didn't even come in till almost like 35 to 45 minutes later in the movie. And it just, the only thing that really worked was the last 15 to 20 minutes of the movie. That's what we wanted. That's what we wanted. But yeah, this movie, it's only worth it for the last 15 to 20 minutes. Everything else to me, like personally, something we didn't touch upon here is all the characters in this movie are assholes. From the little kid that dies, like to the parents, like pretty much the only one that was actually kind of calm and cool to me were like Frank and the dad of Jeremy, you know, later on in the movie. But it's like nobody was likable in this movie. Not even, I mean, I almost want to say not even Laurie.
It almost makes Corey a better protagonist because
it does.
The citizens of Haddonfield are fucking assholes, and you just want to see them get killed by somebody.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I mean, that's
Yes.
and I get that there was a catharsis that they were going for there, but honestly, that it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for me to justify this movie. I mean, I think that watch 2018, you know, for what I feel is the proper ending to the original franchise. Watch Halloween Kills if you just want to see some batshit insanity. But I would say watch this only for the last 15 to 20 minutes of the movie. Other than that, yeah, that's what I see as the trajectory of this trilogy.
I mean, yeah, if you're going for narrative, 2018 is the perfect movie of this trilogy for fans of that mindset. If you're going for just fun, Kills is good, but Ends just doesn't really. I don't think it's really gonna fit well with either crowd.
No, not at all. Yeah. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, yep, that is our review of Halloween Ends. This is the part where we start to do plugs and everything. So, of course, we will let Jim go ahead and plug the Film Rage Brigade and everything. So, go ahead, Jim.
You can find Film Rage at Film Rage YYC on all the socials. And you can find our website at filmrageyyc.com or send us an email to filmragecalgary@gmail.com.
Right on. And you're on all the podcast apps as well?
Ugh, so many podcast apps.
I know. Tell us about it.
You can. It's funny because if you search Film Rage, just Film Rage, it's usually Nicolas Cage that comes up. But if you put in Film Rage podcast, we usually come up just about 5 or 7 down from all the Nicolas Cage.
Hey, I mean that's some good company to be sharing Google space with.
Oh, there you go.
Hell yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's good. And what do you have planned for your next episode?
Well, we will also be talking about Halloween Kills.
Oh, nice.
Depending on when yours comes out, you'll hear us talk about it as a crew. And we're back to our regular schedule. We just spent just about 2 weeks at a film festival where we reviewed something like almost 40 features and about 45 shorts.
Nice.
So it was jam-packed.
Wow.
And we were kind of a little bit burnt out. So we're back to our regular scheduled programming, which is we usually have about 5 or 6 different segments on our podcast where we talk about what's new coming in cinemas, and then just a whole bunch of mayhem.
Oh yeah.
It's like a Halloween episode, but you never know which version you're gonna get.
Yeah. That kind of sounds like us a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like us a little bit. So, yeah. Ash, what's going on with Collateral Gaming?
Well, we actually just published as of today the Resident Evil 2 1998 review. So check that out if you haven't by the time that this is out. We are also going to be doing a Resident Evil 2 2019 as the second part to that 2-part episode. So those will be our numbered episodes for this month of Spooky Month. And then I would like to do a Halloween special on Clock Tower, the Super Nintendo version. The original game.
Super Nintendo version. And aren't we also playing through Resident Evil Director's Cut?
Yeah, and so we should also be doing a bonus round episode on Resident Evil Director's Cut. On the Collateral Cinema side, we're going to kind of collaborate with this Resident Evil shit we've been doing on the gaming side and do a Director's Cut episode on, I think you said, what, the original Resident Evil movie and Welcome to Raccoon City?
Yeah, the Paul W.S. Anderson movie, his original, and with Mila Jovovich, and the most recent one that came out.
Yeah, Welcome to Raccoon City.
Not the series. I've heard lots of cringy things about the series. I've heard lots of cringy things about it.
Yeah, so that's the plan. I'd love to get all that out the rest of this month and just kind of, and if you enjoy what we're doing on either Collateral Cinema or Collateral Gaming, we do have a Patreon, and if you subscribe to our Patreon, you will get access to exclusive full-length movie commentaries and Let's Play video game commentaries.
And as soon as we start getting more patrons and everything, we also want to start doing maybe like Q&A sessions. Like maybe we'll also start releasing our episodes maybe a few days early on that, and exclusively for patrons.
That's not a bad idea, because like we're recording this early and this is supposed to come out right before Halloween. So.
Yeah. So let's say maybe if we get like 15, 20 patrons in the next few months, maybe we might go ahead and start doing that. So, yeah, we on our Patreon we have $1 and $5 tiers and everything. So it's not too heavy on the pocketbooks or anything. So yeah, come and support both podcasts. And also, give us a 5-star rating on your favorite podcast app, and namely like Apple Podcast, on Podchaser, and on Good Pods. Follow us on Good Pods and help us climb the ranks there. We have charted a few times on Good Pods, but I don't know. I need to do a little more with them, to be honest. So,
I'm actually happy with where we're going. I mean, did we hit over 11,000 finally?
Oh, yes, we hit over 11. Last I checked, we were at 11,219 downloads.
Yeah, it's crazy because I feel like we just hit over 10,000, and it's just blown up exponentially. Collateral Gaming is kind of booming as well. We're about to hit 10, and I've just been really happy with the turnout. So
yeah, it feels like we kind of finally got over the COVID slump, and we pulled through, guys.
Maybe it'll be a good opportunity for Robert's filmmaking career if it ever picks up.
It's dead.
It's dead.
Come on, we're in a cabin, Robert. This is the place.
Come on, we could.
I got writer's block. It died already.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, come on.
What are you talking about? We
Robert,
had so many great ideas to murder kids with, musical instruments.
Exactly. We had all those ideas, right? Like that movie practically writes itself.
That's right.
Well, Robert, what do we got going on with the production of Texas Sundown?
Oh, nothing yet.
Nothing?
No. We still got to finish doing it, really.
We still got to.
Yeah, we do.
We're in production.
Yeah, we're working on an ending, a beginning and ending. We still don't have that yet.
Yeah, we pretty much have the whole middle part and the and all the other stuff. So yeah, we need to get a beginning and an ending point.
Yeah, the entire middle has been filmed already, and it's been edited. We got to start a beginning and ending.
Yeah,
but
figure out how we're gonna close this one out too, or maybe leave it open for a part 2 short. I don't know.
Part 2 would be pretty cool.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for something of the horror variety this month, Robert, you do have your other short film, Killing Night, out.
Oh yeah, you can download that right now if you want to, or
where can you find that?
You can find that on my page. Subscribe to Robert Ortegon.
Robert Ortegon on Facebook, right?
On Facebook or YouTube, subscribe on my page, and there's a lot of my car stuff on there, really, where I'm just working on my stuff.
Hey, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, follow us. Yeah, we're also on YouTube as well, and actually we have some videos that go into like the 2,000 to even like 6,000 views.
Oh, nice.
So we have a couple like our Bolero episode. Yeah. That one was actually pretty popular on YouTube for some reason. Yeah, people liked that one.
Yeah, awesome, and that's interesting because our YouTube is it's all audio basically.
It's all audio. Yeah, we don't really have any type of video on there. We have one with our original pilot episode, but we just never got around to formatting the other ones. So maybe that's something we'll get to sometime soon. I don't know. Maybe we'll start doing video podcasts or whatever.
We probably should do that, right?
We should.
If we get another space like this one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we could set up the lighting nice in a place like this.
Yeah, there's not bad lighting in here. This could work.
Yeah, it's actually a shame we're not doing video because Jim, you mentioned it earlier. I mean, we're just kind of this like
Log
cabin in the
cabin.
woods.
Yeah.
You know, I like it. It's a good vibe for the Halloween episode.
It's a great vibe, honestly.
I feel murderous by watching you. Absolutely.
Exactly. But anyway, I guess that is a great moment to end this episode. Have a happy Halloween, everybody. Spectacular spooky season. Watch as many horror movies as you can. If you decide to take the kiddos trick-or-treating, be safe and everything. And we do have an election coming up pretty soon, so vote in that. Go out and vote. This one is important. Yeah. And also, we have a little personal thing to say. We did lose someone very near and dear to us not too long ago. Our friend David Kelly. He was a very close friend of ours. And from here on out, we wanted to go ahead and dedicate this episode and the rest of this season to him. Like, I mean, he was a good friend to all of us, and we loved him, and we're going to miss him deeply. Like, so yeah, cheers to you, Dave.
Love you, Dave.
Love you, Dave. Cheers to you, man. But, yeah, on that note, I am Bo Maddox.
I'm Robert Ortegon.
I'm Ashley Chancellor.
I'm the guest, Jim of Film Rage.
And this was Collateral Cinema Halloween Edition. And Slav Ukraini, and go vote. Laters. Collateral Cinema is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and movie clips are owned by their respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.